This is Victor. He was among the first Romanians to arrive in Britain on January the 1st this year, and he was met by a couple of MPs. That's because he and his countrymen, along with the Bulgarians, had just gained full free access to the UK labour market as full European Union members. There was fear that new EU members would mean a surge in immigration, as it had done in the mid-2000s.
Well, in a moment I'll be speaking to the EU Commissioner for Labour, Laszlo Andor. But first, the Conservative MP, Mark Reckless, who sits on the Home Affairs Select Committee, is here, and he was one of the two MPs who welcomed all those few Romanians. Met them at... Well, you were surely welcoming, I hope.
Well, Victor Sparescu, who was an immigrant from Transylvania, I think his exposure in the media didn't do much good, and I think he quickly went back to Romania.
It has all turned out to be a pile of scaremongering, though, hasn't it?
Jeremy, I'm not sure if you're aware, but the whole hullabaloo today is based on the survey responses of 5 people.
5?
Yeah, rather fewer than Keith Vaz and I spoke to on New Year's Day. This survey...
These figures are constructed, elaborated from 5 people.
Absolutely. When it says 4,000 fewer, that means that 5 fewer Romanians and Bulgarians gave that answer to this survey than last time. The survey is intended to look at the whole economy. So we know from today that the economy is very strong. We've got record employment growth, 750,000 or thereabouts, more in work now than a year ago. But when you're looking at a subset of who's working for Romania and Bulgaria and how much it's changed, these numbers are useless. The margin of error is about 10 times that 4,000 change reported.
But even if it's within the margin of error, clearly there has not been the enormous influx that some people predicted.
As I said, this survey is useless to tell us that. 4/5 of the households who were surveyed were recruited to the survey panel last year, i.e. before the restrictions from Romania and Bulgaria were lifted on the 1st of January. There is no way you could expect this survey to show us what the change of Romania and Bulgaria has been to any level of accuracy. And I'm afraid to put the weight people have on it today is just wrong. I mean, on Thursday next week, we'll get the number of national insurance numbers to different nationalities, and that's a real number, counting every Romanian and Bulgarian who's applied for one.
Vaz, your friend at the airport on January the 1st. You're not with him when he says an apology is owed to Bulgarians and Romanians.
Well, I've looked at the numbers. I was an economist for many years, and if you ask 0.1% of the population, 80% of whom you recruited last year, that's not going to give you any sensible answer to what's happening to the number of Romanians and Bulgarians in the labour market over the last few months. So I think it's still too early to tell. We will find out the national insurance numbers that could be more useful on Thursday next week, but the immigration numbers actually for the first quarter won't come out till the end of August. So
you remain worried that there will be a big influx then?
Well, we just don't know. I mean, I haven't made forecasts. I think from those I've seen, Migration Watch have done a lot of analysis, and their assessment looks as if it's academically respectable. They've done a lot of work on this. They say about 50,000 a year averaged over 5 years. I've no reason to say different from that. When I went to Bucharest with Keith and others, we met a lot of young Romanians who spoke much better English on average than perhaps some of the other Eastern European countries where people have come. The average income level is lower. The levels of corruption and the perception there just aren't opportunities for young people are high. But immigration doesn't work in terms of a huge rush. People will come and build networks, and if their friends and relatives are successful here, then more may follow. We just don't know yet. We need to welcome those who come, but ultimately I believe we need to control our borders, decide how many we want to come, and that's why, if people want to vote for an independent Britain, they need a Conservative government to give them that referendum so we can control our borders and make our own decisions.
Right. Mark Reckless, thanks very much indeed. Well,